So here we go. Kyrsten Sinema comes out against the Democrats' bipartisan human infrastructure bill. Now, to be clear, this is the bill that has all of the good stuff in it. So the bipartisan infrastructure deal is pretty shitty. There's, a lot of stuff in there like privatization of parts of our infrastructure, asset recycling, and that's not good. That's not good. Now, the argument that progressives have been making is, listen, we'll support the bipartisan deal if and only if it's passed at the exact same time as the partisan reconciliation human infrastructure bill. If you send the bipartisan bill to us and the partisan reconciliation bill isn't passed, we're not going to vote for it. We're going to slap it down. We're done with it. So that's what they've been saying. Now, Kyrsten Sinema comes out and says, I want everybody to know it's cool. I support the bipartisan bill, but I don't support the partisan bill. Were you not here like 3.5 seconds ago when basically half of the House progressives were like, okay, well then we're not going to pass your bipartisan bill. So save it. Nobody cares if you support the bipartisan bill if you don't support the partisan human infrastructure reconciliation bill. And again, she doesn't support it. Now, what's her reasoning? Well, she says, $3.5 trillion is too much. We knew this was going to happen. Now, by the way, Manchin has already said a number of times, like 1 trillion or 2 trillion is like his max. So he doesn't support the $3.5 trillion number. Kyrsten Sinema doesn't support the $3.5 trillion number. And you also have Mark Kelly implying not really support the $3.5 trillion number either. Now, my guess is that 7 or 8 of the Senate Democrats, who are the more conservative Democrats, don't support that $3.5 trillion number. But guess what? That led to now House progressives are fighting. So AOC tweeted the following: good luck tanking your own party's investment on healthcare, good luck tanking your own party's investment on childcare, climate action, and infrastructure while presuming you'll survive a 3-vote House margin. So in other words, she's saying, it's over, son. If you're not going to be for the partisan reconciliation bill, we're not going to be for the bipartisan bill. We told you about this. We warned you about this. You also have Rashida Tlaib said, Sinema is more interested in gaining GOP friends and blocking much needed resources than fighting for her residents' future. I think that's absolutely correct. Now understand, the partisan human infrastructure reconciliation bill, here's what's in it: expanded Medicare, caregiving for the disabled and the elderly, funding universal pre-K, paying for climate change initiatives. So the partisan bill is a good bill. It's way better than the shitty bipartisan bill. So guess what? If you strip this down from 3.5 trillion, you're going to have to get rid of phenomenal provisions that should be staying in. That's a fact. So Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, and the 7 or 8 Democrats who are going to oppose the partisan bill, they should have to pay for opposing this. And, I've given you guys this strategy 1,000 times, but I'm going to bring it up one more time. Credit to the House progressives, because now they're fighting and now they're saying, okay, we'll take the whole fucking thing. That's exactly what they need to do. But now, I'm told Joe Biden, for example, supports this bill, supports the partisan reconciliation bill. Okay, Joe, well, now's the time to prove just how much you really support it. This is when Joe Biden needs to get directly involved. You call Kyrsten Sinema into your office, you call Mark Kelly into your office, you call Joe Manchin into your office, and you give them the offer they can't refuse. You give them the carrot or stick approach. You say, listen, here's the deal. It's very simple. If you support this as is, 3.5 trillion as is, I'm going to be your best friend. What do you want? What do you need? I'm here for you. I'm the president. I got a lot of power. Okay, so Joe Manchin, you want another military base in West Virginia? Done. We're going to get that done. Kyrsten Sinema, you want some more money for infrastructure projects for Arizona specifically, so you're guaranteed re-election? Done. We got it. You can offer them anything. You want a spot in the administration? Whatever you want. I got you. If you vote for this bill as is. If you don't, I'm going to be your worst enemy. Your career in politics is over. Not only that, you won't get a job afterwards either. I know all of you want to cash in and go work for some consulting firm or go work on Wall Street. Done. Not happening. One phone call, you're done. I'm the president. I have connections. So you give them the offer they can't refuse. I'll be your best friend. I'll be your worst enemy, but you have to vote for this bill as is. Now, Joe Biden is very, very likely not going to do that. And then what will probably happen is the $3.5 trillion number will be negotiated down to like 2 trillion, maybe 1.5 trillion thereabouts. And we'll see what ends up happening. Will the House progressives stand strong and block the whole thing? Doubtful. But you have the ability to force their hand on $3.5 trillion, or at the very least, use the power of the White House to make sure that even if you do negotiate this partisan reconciliation bill down, it's still somewhat palatable. And that, I think, at this point would be the best case scenario, because we know Joe Biden's not Lyndon B. Johnson. We know he's not FDR. We know he's not going to twist arms vociferously. It's not going to happen. So then, honestly, the best we could hope for is, like, maybe we get a partisan reconciliation bill that all of the senators support, and it's like $2 trillion or $2.5 trillion. That's honestly what I think is the best case scenario. If they can agree to 2 or 2.5 trillion, maybe the House progressives will be like, okay. But if they get down to 1 trillion or 1.5 trillion, and it depends on which provisions they strip out and everything, then I don't think under any circumstances the House progressives should agree to it. And I think Biden will have massively cucked himself. Here's the bottom line, guys. A minor victory would be a $2 trillion reconciliation package, depending on the details, 2 to 3 trillion. A massive victory would be the 3.5 trillion staying as is. And a pretty abject failure would be under 2 trillion and it passing. So we'll see what everybody's made of. But, we have to, the devil's in the details, so we're going to have to watch these negotiations now upcoming very closely. But my guess is, if the past is any predictor of the future, and it is, my guess is you'll have Manchin and Sinema and Mark Kelly and the more conservative Democrats. They'll be the ones who fight harder. They'll be the ones who get their way more. But will the House Democrats hold the line? To one extent or another, we have to wait and see.